Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is talking about Elon Musk. And the main reason why I'm going to be doing this is specifically because not only has there been massive turmoil caused to the market and specifically to Tesla's stock price because of what he did, I've also had one or two students that have asked me to give my input and advice on exactly what has happened. So this is going to be a bit of a news piece, but mainly giving my input of exactly what Elon Musk did that impacted the Tesla stock price so massively, and how he could actually be facing huge lawsuits just because of what he tweeted in one single tweet. First, I'd just like to say to any of you who want to keep up with all of the YouTube content that we're uploading, we upload weekly educational content about trading, investing, and wealth management. So make sure to stay subscribed to this channel, and also have a look through the video library if you want to have a look at all the other educational videos we have. I'm sure there's going to be a few that you can use that can help you with a bit more education. So anyway, going back to what we're going to be doing in this video, I'm not going to be talking too much about this, whilst I'm going to be talking for the next 25-30 minutes. I'm just going to be listing to you the top 3 inputs that I have received from the articles that I've read, the videos that I've looked at, as well as watching the news so much, as well as giving you my input about what I think might happen next, the reasoning behind why Tesla and Elon Musk have gotten to this point, and exactly what my opinion of possibly trading the stock might be or staying away from the stock might be. So I'm going to try and make this video short. I'm not going to be putting up any links or anything to articles because they are all out there. Use Bloomberg, use Reuters, a news outlet, use some of the other big news outlets to have a look at what articles there are. But basically the entire industry is saying the same thing. So it's not really important for me to just read articles to you. I'm really just going to give you my input. So just to give you the overview, effectively what happened was Elon Musk came out saying that he was going to have what they call an LBO, or a leverage buyout, to privatize the company Tesla. Now, the Tesla company is a publicly traded stock, meaning that everyone on the publicly traded market is able to buy and own shares, and that obviously allows Tesla to have investment from the public that allows them to grow the company a lot faster, etc. Now, privatizing a company effectively means that Tesla finds a financing partner that goes out there and buys back all the stock. Now, in order to do this, usually what they'll do is they'll do something that is called an LBO, a leverage buyout. So they will ask the public market to sell their stock back at a premium. So let's say, for example, the stock was trading at $350. They'd ask for, let's say, for example, $380, $400 leverage buyout, and then they'd make a full buyout. Now, what Elon Musk effectively did in a single tweet, he basically said that they were going to have a leverage buyout, the company was going to be going private, and that they had confirmed funding for a price at $420. Now, at the time, Tesla was trading around about $350, so this leverage buyout was an incredibly high number, and I think the total value of the buyback was around about $75 billion. Now, the problem behind this is that this is technically illegal to do if you don't have certain policies and regulations in place that allow you to do this. And effectively, what it is causing is a massive hit to Tesla, and it could in fact actually jeopardize the entire future of the company. Now, on the contrary, it could be very good for the company, but that's not really something that I want to talk about, because that is really speculative information that I'd be sharing with you. So now, problem number 1 behind what I've found to do with this tweet that was sent out is that so far Tesla has not necessarily shown any information that they were in complete confirmation and agreement with what Elon Musk did. Now, based on what we know, Elon Musk was speaking with certain people. I know he was speaking with groups at Goldman Sachs about taking Tesla private, but there was no confirmation about a price, about a deal, and about the fact that they were actually going to be announcing it. Just after Elon Musk posted out the tweet, there was information that was posted up on the Tesla website talking about this, but not necessarily confirming everything. And what this effectively means is that we can see Tesla, the company, which is obviously tens of thousands of employees, and Elon Musk is working at completely crossroads. And this can be incredibly dangerous because it can show that there is very little communication inside the company. There's probably a lot of friction and possibly some issues that have risen up between Elon Musk trying to get certain things put in place and Tesla refusing to let him put those things in place. So there is a possible chance that he jumped the gun, even though the board possibly could have said that they didn't want this. Now, this is not being confirmed, but this is definitely what a lot of people in the market are considering could have been the reason. Now, the second problem, which talks about drawing the lawsuits, is that if Elon Musk can't prove that he had secured funding at the time of releasing that tweet, meaning he had a confirmation of someone that was going to buy out the Tesla stock at that exact price of $420, it will effectively mean he faces massive lawsuits, and he'll be facing these lawsuits directly from the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission. But the problem is he could also be facing lawsuits from outside investors, specifically because when this release came out, this tweet came out, the stock price for Tesla went through a massive boost and then fell incredibly fast way back down by the end of the week after all of the news was released. Now, following that, the Tesla stock price has continued to fall because of all of the speculation around the fact that they don't think this was actually a truthful statement that he made. So the problem is he could not only face a lawsuit for what he did, he could also face criminal charges from the SEC, which is a massive problem because not only will he be facing it directly himself as a person, Elon Musk, Tesla will also be facing this lawsuit as well. And because Tesla is a publicly traded company, this could mean that the board, Tesla, will land up possibly making some very drastic moves towards Elon Musk to try and discipline him, ensure this never happens again, or even take an even more extreme measure, just like they did with Uber's CEO, and actually remove him. Now, I do not think this will happen. I definitely think he's going to recover from this situation based on the statement I've just made on point number 2, but that is definitely something that I'm considering in all of these factors. Now, another important factor to consider is Elon Musk himself. Now, Elon Musk has been seen to be an incredibly powerful CEO, and he has grown from grassroots. He actually grew from South Africa, my country, so he's also South African, but he started off creating some incredible companies way back in the day and going through some very controversial and turbulent times. Now, Tesla has always been known to be a company that struggles with certain aspects, but the problem is that Elon Musk himself is struggling. Most recently, there was an article coming out where he was talking about handling extreme levels of stress and anxiety and really struggling to be able to sleep, as well as actually having to use medication to combat these problems. Now, the problem behind this is that because Tesla is a publicly traded company, people are going to be focusing a lot on the health of the CEO. Now, Elon Musk coming out saying that necessarily he might not be in the best position means that he's been attracting a huge amount of attention from very large-scale investors and big names in the industry who are now saying to him, no, you should be healthy, you should do this, you should do that. And now, by all means, when you try and tell a billionaire what to do, the chances of him actually going, well, yes, I'll listen to you, is about zero. So that's really the problem that is coming out right now, is because there's so much speculation being pushed on Elon Musk himself and not just on Tesla, you can see that he is actually reacting. So he's going out by listing up some very emotional interviews. I know there was a big emotional interview he did with the New York Times, as well as going absolutely crazy on tweeting out and responding to tons and tons of tweets on Twitter that is causing a lot of turmoil as well. So they're definitely, outside of Tesla itself, we can see that there's a lot of speculation around the health of Elon Musk and where the future lies for him and where he might be going with this somewhat slightly offset path that he's been going on over the last couple of months. Now, there are definitely a huge amount of more aspects that I'd like to mention in this video, but mainly because I don't want this video to run on too long, I'm going to jump straight to the reasoning behind why I think it's really gotten to this point. Now, point number 3, where I was talking about his health, because it's such a major aspect of what they're talking about in the market, is also a factor. So his health is definitely going to be a major factor of this all. But I'm going to be listing up the next 4 points as to why I think Tesla and Elon Musk have gotten into this position. And this is definitely my opinion. This is not necessarily complete information I think you should swear by, but based on my opinion as a trader and someone who has traded the Tesla stock, I definitely say that these are the points that I'm considering to do with the Tesla stock in this trading opportunity, if there is any. So a major factor behind why people think Elon Musk landed up pushing out this tweet is most recently Tesla has been targeted by short sellers. And what that effectively means is Tesla has been targeted by groupings of people around the world who mainly run hedge funds, basically coming out saying that they are shorting the Tesla stock. And effectively what this means is that the investor confidence has dropped in Tesla's stock. Now they are taking advantage of the fact that Tesla is not a profitable company, that they have had weak fundamentals coming out over the last couple quarters, and that they are going through volatile times to do with things like the Tesla Model 3. They are struggling with making the production numbers and the promises on that, as well as experiencing a few other issues, especially involving the news that it's been coming out in 2018 of recently this year, that there was a huge amount of issues with someone that had gotten run over by a driverless car, as well as a few other issues with cars, with Tesla cars that have landed up in big accidents because people had it on driverless mode and landed up in massive accidents. Now, this is just causing massive levels of speculation, and what is causing as well is huge amounts of volatility. So the volatility in the stock is moving high and low throughout the day, because not only the investor liquidity is thinning, so less people are trading the stock, it also means more people are standing on the short side, wanting for the stock to fall. Now, Elon Musk possibly could have come out trying to combat the short sellers, trying to say no, he is going to be going for an incredibly high price, a big buyout program, which would have forced the short sellers to possibly run away from the stock and try and get out of their positions before they lose tons of money. Now, basically this was a good attempt, but based on what we can see right now, Tesla currently, I'm sitting on Monday right now, the 20th, Tesla opened just under $300 today. So Tesla is not necessarily showing if it's going to recover, and there's a good chance that those short sellers are going to stay and possibly dig in their teeth if this buyout program actually doesn't work. Now, another factor I was talking about, that was factor 2. Factor 1 was talking about Elon Musk's health, but factor number 3 is going to be talking about Tesla struggling with staying profitable, as well as running a weak model on their business. Now, effectively, Tesla is seen as a car company, and a very big car company at that. But the problem is that what people don't realize, the Tesla technology is for electric car technology, as well as driverless technology, as well as so many other different motor vehicle technologies out there. The problem around this is that a lot of this technology is in the research and development programs, as well as in speculative development processes. So there's not a huge amount of regulation in the world that governs driverless cars or electric cars, as well as there is not a massive track record of history behind the use of this technology. The problem is that this means when Tesla runs into problems, they're going to be spending absolute fortunes to try and fix it. And at the same time, because all of this technology is new, the research and development programs are costing them absolute fortunes. So this means that Tesla is not only struggling to stay profitable, it also means that there is little chance that Tesla might land up becoming profitable for a long period of time. Now, the other one is that the fundamentals coming out on the actual stock price is also very weak. So based on a lot of the things that hedge fund managers, asset managers, investors around the world look at, they are not seeing the things that they really like in the actual Tesla stock itself. And the problem behind this is that that means he is not attracting new investors. He's not attracting investors that could want to try and stay there for a long period of time. Now, the chance of having a leverage buyout and going completely private means that he can control who owns the Tesla stock, which effectively means he could have a lot more freedom to do what he wants and do as he pleases, as opposed to being a publicly traded company. The speculation behind this is obviously proven, because historically there are tons of companies that have gone through leverage buyouts and gone private specifically for this reason, but that might not solve Tesla's problems. That is only going to put it behind a door, meaning that it's not going to make the company profitable. It's not going to take the speculation away from the company. It just means publicly traded people are not going to be able to own the stock, which could be a problem, because whoever buys out the Tesla company is then going to be in control of the Tesla company and the management of the company, which Elon Musk might not like. He might have a more satisfaction controlling a publicly traded company where he still owns 20% of the stock. And finally, the last factor is going to be running on slightly from the previous point, is talking about the investors. Now, you're going to see why I talk so much about investors, because without the people owning the Tesla stock would be worth nothing, or no one would be talking about it. Now, the problem behind my previous point is talking about weak fundamentals, talking about problems with experimental technologies, as well as also talking about the fact that the Tesla company has not been profitable. The biggest issue is who is holding the Tesla stock. And what we've come to realize is the Tesla stock has become a very cult-like investment opportunity. And what I mean by this is that a lot of people are investing in Tesla specifically because of the fact that it is an electric car technology company. They only sell electric cars, as opposed to a lot of other companies who sell both carbon emission cars as well as electric cars. The other thing is that a lot of people love Elon Musk because Elon Musk is quite a nerd, but he's also a billionaire. So in a way, he has been in a lot of incredible ventures. He's been in the SpaceX venture as well as the PayPal venture. PayPal was his first major company that he built, and now PayPal is one of the biggest payment transaction platforms on the planet. He has been seen as a very controversial and a highly motivated and driven person. Now, the most accurate comparison I can make with Elon Musk is Steve Jobs. Now, Steve Jobs went through a frighteningly volatile and I would say in a way questionable history with Apple, as you know, how he was basically kicked out of Apple as a CEO. He basically completely lost his company and then later on was invited back in to help save Apple. He was an incredibly controversial person, but people loved being able to invest in him and not just in Apple. People felt because of how driven he was and how incredibly creative he was, investing in him and not the Apple stock would make them a lot more money. And it was true, it did prove right. And people are starting to draw a lot of similarities from people like Steve Jobs to Elon Musk. And the problem is that's drawing a cult-like investor group. So these groups of investors, not all of them, but the most of them are actually there because they are believing in Elon Musk. And the problem behind this is that there are no credible fundamentals to measure the performance of Elon Musk, apart from the fact that he's had previously successful companies. And on top of that, there is not a huge amount of track record around the success of comparing CEOs to each other. Every single CEO, especially these billionaires, are completely different. So the issue is that when you look at the previous point, where are the serious investors coming from? Well, the problem is the fundamentals are not showing that they should be there. And then the next point is talking about the cult-like investors. Well, these guys are not necessarily there because of the good fundamentals. They're there just because they like Elon Musk. And the second one is just because they like Tesla. It's kind of like the Apple frenzy. You might not be able to afford the Apple iPhone, so instead you go and buy the Apple stock. Same thing applies to Tesla now. You might not be able to own the Tesla car, so instead you try and own the Tesla stock. And this is the comparison that we're seeing, which is developing that cult-like investor group. And that is a big reason why there could be a chance that they are considering this because they want to go private. And now these couple points that I've listed are mostly my opinion, but I think that they are relatively accurate and I think that they would be able to assist you. So in conclusion, my opinion of this all is, firstly, Tesla is going through an incredibly volatile time, and trying to buy and hold the stock before we know what's going on is probably a very dangerous thing to do. Point number two, to all the short sellers, the thing is that if this deal falls through, if Tesla lands up getting hit by major lawsuits, these short sellers could make an absolute fortune, and there could be more short sellers that arrive to try and take advantage of this and try and take a piece of meat from Elon Musk. But the problem is, if the deal does go through, these short sellers could possibly lose fortunes of money. So that is the problem, is because even being on the short seller side, there could be an issue. Now, the next one is people talking about possibly buying up the stock if the deal does go through. The problem is that people are going to be waiting at the door for that to happen. So the second it does go through, the news will hit the market and it's going to be boosting the stock price. Now, the problem is that even though you could invest in this, my definite outcome is that if the deal does fall through, it could cause a massive amount of turmoil for Tesla, and there's going to be a huge amount of volatility. Once it happens, seeing when the market dies down and possibly recovers could be an investment opportunity. But the problem is that if the leverage buyout deal goes through, they're going to push this through as fast as possible. So my general opinion on this right now is I'm just going to hold. I'm just going to see what happens. If the deal does go through, then Tesla goes private, and that's it for us as public investors. But if the deal doesn't go through, we're going to see a lot of volatility to the Tesla stock. Probably Tesla stock could fall even further, maybe down to $250 or $200, and face a huge amount of volatility. Now, during that period of time is where I might try to see if I could trade the stock. But if that doesn't happen, I'm going to move on to the next stock. So once again, like I said to you, this is just my personal opinion, talking about some of the things that I saw from the news, as well as what I think of all of it, just to help you out so you can at least learn more about why I have a look at some of these stocks and how I have a look at them, as well as my opinions on it. So any of you who want to keep updated with the weekly educational content, like I said, like and subscribe, but also to find out why I'm posting up these videos. So I run the MSc Academy and I train students in 27 countries around the world. I also run my own investment group. But to any of you who want to learn about how to trade, invest, and manage your wealth in the financial markets, you can jump on over to www.msequitiestrading.com. You can have a look at my website and see about everything we do and how we train students via an online platform, as well as on specialized mobile applications. Get in contact with my team and we'll make sure to help you out. Once again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like if you liked it, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers for now, everyone.